Hi, this is BZ and it is May 1st, 2022. And I'm just sitting a little bit in the woods under a little pergola, and it's early in the morning. And I just wanted to try out, this is a Zoom kind of remote. We'll see how it works. But I've been doing a lot of kind of logistical wondering about things, and actually this is wondering or pondering or contemplating things out loud, and maybe you have some ideas and suggestions and some thoughts, so I would appreciate that. One of the logistics is around being, soon I'll be out of this nice little cabin, and I'll be in the truck full time and in the tent full time. And so the logistics I'm noodling over is how to keep the truck from getting super hot when the sun is out during the day, because all of my things, my stuff is in there. And so it's vitamins and some kibble supplies, some stuff for the cat. Just, clothing isn't so bad if it gets hot, but so how do I keep that cool? And how do we're not roasting, and how do I keep the cab of the truck when it's not running from getting super hot? Obviously the windows down to some extent, and I don't know if there's some kind of, I think it's called Alamet, or some kind of sun reflecting stuff I can put over it. How to keep the tent from getting super hot. Cold is one thing. I've got a Mr. Buddy, but the heat, I don't like the heat, don't do well in the heat. And the animals don't do well either. So I'm also trying to figure out, sorry, I can't prop you up any other way, prop me up any other way. I'm trying to figure out how to, where the animals can stay so that they're not always attached to me on a leash, which is hard for them, hard for me. Where Rosie can stay, I don't know. So I'll say what I have, and then I think I'm going to do this in bits and bytes, so that perhaps if people are interested to help, they can write comments or get in touch on that. So this is logistics about the truck and the camp, the tent and the campsite, and keeping the sun off. So keeping moderately cool or not roasted conditions, and how to set it up so that the rose is not always in a tiny little thing, and yet everybody's safe. And what I'm playing with the head is how to live in these moments and not just survive or get by, which the parallels to life in general that we're all doing on the planet is very similar to that. This is just new to me. So I made the decision, I don't want to survive anymore in the job where I have, nice little tiny house, and at least I've got work, and all those euphemisms that we use. And yes, it was pretty surroundings, but it wasn't a life. It was just days and days and days and days and days strung together, making it an incredible life for someone else, an incredible flow and existence and comfort and lavishness and sweetness and all that kind of stuff for somebody else. And I would like to do that for me now, what my definition of that would be, and then share that with others. So it's interesting. This is, it's how to play in all of that. So what I have is I have the tent, and I have the rain shield, which keeps the rain off. Okay. And I have lots of, when it's open, screened in, so the tent can be all closed in, floor and everything. So that's good. But even with all the screens, if it's just open air with no rainfly, which is great because it'll get really hot if that's that, how do I get some shade so everything in the tent can have a little shade? So it's going to get hot. We're all going to have to get used to that. But how can there be shade? So that's one. And that way, if I can get comfortable with that, Rose can have, I was gifted this it's a long rectangular, it's hard-sided on two ends, and it's kind of a soft, it's not all mesh, it has some mesh in it, and then some is kind of, I don't know, like vinyl-y sort of fabric, but it's somewhat rigid, and it's probably maybe 27 inches long, something like that. And it's a rectangle, so I don't know, maybe 12 or 14 inches, on the squarish parts. So she could stay in that during the day. That's one thing. And she could maybe stay in the truck. I'm not certain I'm comfortable letting her completely loose in the truck, in the back of the truck, but somehow not to be in the thing. So that's what I have for Rose. And for the dogs, they can be in the back of the truck in their space, kind of loose. Xander's got to learn not to jump over the back seat into the front seat, which is a problem because with everything set up, he can get hung up and hurt himself. I don't want him hurting himself. So that's part of it with the windows down. I have there's like corkscrew tie outs. You can screw it into the ground, and it has a cable. So they can be tied out different places. They can be with me. They can be in the tent. So that's what I have there. I do have a small piece was from my agility days with Keegan, Alamet. It's mesh, it's like silver thing, and it has grommets. I don't know if it just went over the Kia, so I don't think it's anywhere near big enough to do much on the truck, but I could look at that, maybe get a bigger piece. Right now, that's the other thing I'm pondering, is all these things that it's not wants, those will come much later, or would likes would come much later, but needs need funding, and I have to figure out how to do that, because the gas is expensive, and the camping, a big monthly fee for this next place I'm going to. This has been an exchange here for a friend, so how to have that coming in, that kind of takes me to an aside. I'm thinking about Patreon. Are people interested enough in what's going on and what I'm moving through, which is a way to help others move through their own version of the changes, because all the systems are changing? Would you feel that it was a good exchange of value to be a patron, to, in small ways every month, to support me? I don't know if you're thinking of a cup of coffee. I was thinking somewhere, what a lot of people do, somewhere in the range of, and I guess you get different access, but I'd like to make it simple and see if people are along for a ride, and then do other things for the business. So anyways, that's a little bit off. I think I'm going to stop this one here, as I said, and just put up different sections. But I would love any thoughts you have on how to keep the truck cool, keep the tent in shade, keep the truck in shade, if there's physical shade. And I'm going to be limited where I'm going. It's, there are different RV pads. I'm not an RV, but they're, hookups. And so I've got my space there, and whatever shade, whatever angle, I'm trying to see if there's a way I can find out what that is for this next one. So yeah, so if you can, this was a test, and see if you have some thoughts and ideas. That would be great. Thank you so much.